Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you all are doing okay. Today we're going to be coloring this simple little flower. I have four markers that we're going to be using. We're going to use this brown, yellow, and two green. So first, let's go ahead and use our greens. I hope that you all are having a wonderful day. I am wanting to color some stuff, so let's do that. I've considered making some shorts from coloring and stuff, but I don't know. I'm not sure if that's yeah, I don't know. I'll just leave it alone. But I hope that you all are doing well. I feel like the shorts are kind of taking over. And while, it's nice to watch a short a few times, multiple times, I still find that I like long form better than short form videos. Today, while we were out, was a pop up for one of the craft channels that I am trying to learn how to do. And my son was watching it. I was listening to it. And all they had was music in the background. And he said, I thought you didn't like videos that don't talk. And I told him, I said, I don't. And then he was like, but this is what you like. And I was like, it is. But at the same time, I can't hear what they're doing because they had some sort of music like blasting away. And I didn't see anything because I was driving. And so I couldn't hear anything because they weren't talking. And it was just a weird setup for what was going on. We were kind of in traffic, so I was not about to start messing with the phone. I wanted to really do some stuff today, but my son had a alternative mindset. He wanted to play video games, and so he wanted to be home by a specific time. And the time that he wanted to be home by, we were home before, but he still missed the thing because he thought it was 2 o'clock, but it was 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we don't, you know, work on time zones. We just work on our time zone for the most part. So, yeah, he was upset about it. He's like, I never get a chance to, participate in the live events, and I really wanted to do it, blah, blah, blah. And so I told him, I said, well, you always have the option of being good and getting a chance to play the game another time. You know what? I did this all backwards. Ugh, all backwards. I needed this to be the edging, not the other way around. I don't know what I was thinking. It's okay. I am running on zero energy for today. I went to bed last night, this morning basically, and I woke up a few hours later. I need to probably schedule a doctor's appointment to get some sleeping assistance because I do not enjoy not being fully rested because I can't function. So now, today, I want to go to sleep early and it's already like nighttime. So after this video, I'll be hitting the sack. after I make the collab video, I should say. And then we'll schedule this video for later in the month. I had did a review on those other markers that I got from the home store, Home Goods. I think it's called Home Goods. Yep. And I talked about how the markers scratched. And you can hear them kind of scraping. These don't scrape that much. Like you can't hear them scraping. Remember, Ohuhu are supposed to be a dupe for other markers, but they got really popular within the last 5 years, and so now they're becoming a premier marker for people that want a cheaper alternative to some of the higher end alcohol markers. So they've been missing, right? They've been missing. Um, and by missing, they've been out of stock. But also, I feel like Ohuhu has done some weirdness because, with the whole extra charges for shipping from overseas and all of that stuff, the price on the markers are going up unless they're in the States. And now I feel like what I'm about to say makes sense in my head, but it probably won't make any sense once you've heard the plan. I feel like these companies could just open some stores in the States, like warehouses. They could employ some people here, and that would alleviate some of our problems. Like they could look at the last 6 months before the extra charges were initiated and see what some of the stuff that they're selling. They could look at some of their new stuff that's coming out, and they could it's too dark. They could just get some warehouses and ship one huge shipment over and then go from there. I mean, I could be that could not be a thing, and I could just be totally wrong about everything when I the way I think. But I feel like that would be a good thing. I feel like that would be a really really good thing for jobs. You'd have a few companies. You could get a few companies interested, a few warehouses in maybe 5 of the states. Get one like Central USA, one on the outskirts. So of course, California would have their own. Maybe Florida, somewhere near New York, and then Oklahoma, Texas. And then a random spot would be well as also. And that way you're getting jobs. And of course, people are being hired on a year thing versus like a year contract, right? But I feel like got an email saying that the companies are trying to contact Congress and saying that the arts are needing them to stop these taxes. Um, I really don't have anything to say politically about any of that stuff. Of course, I have my own opinions about it, but I just think that, you know, it is a interesting mindset that we have to take on because a lot of companies do rely on companies overseas to make products. And if they're not making the products, then people are going to go out of business. I remember a few years ago when my friend was like, paper's going to go up because they had ran out of pulp paper. And sure enough, paper went up. Hobby Lobby stopped doing the 50% off at the paper studio and now it's at 40%. And while 40% is a great deal, it is not as good as 50, you know? And I just find that to be rude. I went to Hobby Lobby and I wanted to look at some paper and they had a sale, but I was like, do I really need this paper? And the answer is no. I didn't need it, so I didn't get it. But they did have clearance and they had some wood pieces and I was like, oh yes, this is what I came for anyway. I was so excited. And then, Hobby Lobby is pulling the Dollar Tree moment. They had one cashier, and it was like 6, 7 customers in line. And then they opened up another lane, and so we had got there early, fairly early, like 9:10, 9:15. And when you go to stores like that, you want to kind of get in and get out. You don't want to stay. I am just making tiny little. I don't even know if they're real circles, but tiny little circles. All right. Let's see. Just making some orange little lines. They're kind of bold. Orange, nonetheless. Probably not one of your first choices, but I like it. And I like how it came out up. It's a little bit oversaturated in one spot, and it's probably going to bleed through. And I'm okay with that. Not per se, but I'll be okay. This was a easy little project, right? We did this one fairly quickly, which is always fun when when I'm picking images to color. I think it just depends on what I'm trying to do. Like a lot of people, my friend has been sending me links, and I've seen where people have taken stuff over the top, like super duper over the top. I always try to become that person, like an over the top crafter, and eh, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if I'm designed, destined to actually create because I draw blanks, not inspiration, just blanks. I'm like, oh no, I didn't. But I do enjoy watching people color. I do enjoy craft videos because I do draw inspiration from people's creativity. Like if I was to watch someone do a video on flowers, I would maybe get inspired, you know? And then I would create something with flowers. I love to be inspired. I'm inspired right now to craft, create, enjoy. I love it. You know, I was out of town last weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I came back on Sunday, and I think I want to do it again. I need to see my uncle before school starts, and it's a few. We have a little kid party to go to. The little roommate knows nothing about it, but we have a little party to go to, and school starts relatively soon after that. So I want to go and do something, okay? I want to go and I want to have a good time and spend time with my uncle. So we're going to use this colored pencil now. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my pencil and I'm going to make circles all around in here. And then I think I'm going to take my black marker, my fine liner, I should say, and I am going to um, go over it to make some of those little spiky things. But I like that. I mean, you can't really tell. I can look at it and see, but I was not trying to pick this color. This little brown is just sits on my desk. I want to do a few DIY projects for storage. I was watching a few people talk about decluttering and cleaning. And although I do plan on being here a lot longer, I do want to get rid of a lot of stuff because the more and more I think about it, the more and more I want to move. And if I do decide to move, I'm not going to be able to take all the stuff with me. So I need to get rid of some of this stuff. But we'll see. All right, so now I'm just going to go over this with this. I think my mark is drying out. And I don't want to make the circles too big. That's a big circle after I just said I don't want to make the circles too big. All right. Now I am so tempted to pull out my stencils and um, color over it, but no, we can't do that. We cannot. We will not. We will not. Okay. We will not. I do love. I do love this white pencil. This white pen though. Like the color it gives us. This would have been good if we had did acrylic markers. I would have enjoyed that. All right. I think that's enough. I think that's enough before I go crazy. I enjoyed doing this. I hope that you all enjoy watching. I want to say thank you all for watching. Until next time, happy coloring.